The Royal Rumble is this Saturday, and I've got some predictions to make. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? I got it all right here on the Broken Havoc podcast with my Royal Rumble predictions. Roll it. What's up, everybody? It is Broken Havoc here, right here on the Broken Havoc podcast with a very special video for you guys. I'm coming to you guys with my Royal Rumble 2022 predictions video. Yes, I haven't done a predictions video for a while. I was originally going to do a predictions video for day one. You know, I had the thumbnail set, everything, but unfortunately, of course, with the card changing, and not only that, you know, I was just running out of time. I just didn't come out with the predictions video and just went straight to a review. But we got the Royal Rumble, and, you know, there's a lot of rumors and speculation regarding the Royal Rumble. And you know what? Some of them I'm really interested in. Some of them I'm just really not interested in. You know, the Women's Royal Rumble, really, they built around the entire Women's Royal Rumble on basically the veterans that are going to be there. So, like, your Litas, your Oxanas, which I heard was in the rumor mill, which I don't know why they're bringing people like Oksana, but whatever. Of course, the Royal Rumble, the Men's Royal Rumble is actually a little bit interesting because of the fact that, you know, there's a lot of questions regarding the two championship matches that are going to happen. Of course, Roman Reigns going up against Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship and Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley for the WWE title. There's a lot of questions in the air. You know, will there be title changes? Who knows? I mean, I honestly feel that both title main events for this year's Royal Rumble is, in my opinion, absolutely solid. I am really enjoying the undercard for the two world title main events. You know, we got Becky Lynch versus Doudrop, which I do not know why we got Becky Lynch versus Doudrop, in my opinion, but I'm going to be discussing the card for you guys. I do believe that this is going to be a good show, in my opinion. I think the Royal Rumble is going to be a good show. You know, there's going to be a lot of surprises, in my opinion, as the Royal Rumble always is. And you know what? The Royal Rumble usually every year is honestly one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year because it's one of those pay-per-views where there's a lot of just speculation up in the air, especially with the Royal Rumble match itself, with both the men's and the women's, of course. You know, one of them, you know, being what is going to happen in the women's Royal Rumble when it comes to Mickie James. Is she going to come out with the Impact Knockouts Championship? You know, and also with the men's Royal Rumble match. A lot of people are saying Cody Rhodes is going to be in the Royal Rumble, but honestly, let's be 100% real here. He's not going to be in the Royal Rumble. That's just me. But the first match of the evening that I'm going to be discussing is Edge and Beth Pheonix going up against The Miz and Maryse. This is a match that, you know, honestly, I'm not really as excited for. You know, I remember a couple of weeks ago in my Raw review, I stated that, you know, after Beth Pheonix came out in the match between The Miz and Edge at day one, you know, I felt like this was going to build towards a match at WrestleMania. And I completely looking back at what I've stated, I look like a complete fool, in my opinion, because of the fact that WWE, in my opinion, made the right decision to put this match on the Royal Rumble card. Because let's be 100% honest here, Edge should be in a much higher profile match than wrestling in a mixed tag team match at WrestleMania. And I feel like this will be the end of the feud regarding The Miz and Edge. You know, this whole mixed tag team match that's going to be happening at the Royal Rumble. Who do I think is going to be winning this match? Honestly, let's be 100% real right here. The baby faces, Beth Pheonix and Edge, are definitely 100% going over in this match. Am I really excited for this match? To be quite honest, no. The segments were completely uninteresting. I mean, in the go-home show, the last segment on Raw, on this week's go-home show for the Royal Rumble, was a freaking birthday celebration for Maryse, which I do not know why that was the last, you know, segment of the show. What should have been the last segment of Raw should have been, you know, a face-off between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, or a verbal exchange between both MVP and Paul Heyman before the big match for Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. You know, instead we had a freaking birthday celebration, which we all knew Edge and Beth Pheonix were going to crash anyway. So why the hell are you know, why the hell was that the last segment of the show? But to be, I mean, let's be straight up. You know, Edge and Beth Pheonix are definitely going over in this match. I would be really shocked if the heels went over in this match, but I think 100% this is going to be the end of the feud between The Miz and Edge, because in my opinion, it's time to end this really stupid feud, to be quite honest with you. You know, the the only reason why, the feud between Edge and Miz happened was because of CM Punk and MJF. And, a lot of people can disagree with me on that, but everybody else is saying it, and it's 100% factual. The main reason why this match is this feud is going on is because of the fact that CM Punk name dropped Miz by calling MJF a less famous Miz on a couple months ago on that Thanksgiving episode of Dynamite. So, I mean, that is the only reason why this feud is happening. And this whole mixed tag team match, I think it's going to be a good match, but let's be straight up. Edge, it's very predictable. Edge and Beth Pheonix are going over in this match. The second match we have is Becky Lynch versus Doudrop for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, there's no SmackDown Women's Championship match because of the fact that Charlotte is basically entered herself in the Women's Royal Rumble. But, of course, Doudrop won a Fatal 4, I believe it was. Raw is a bad show that I really just do not remember a lot of the stuff that happened on the show. But Doudrop did win a Fatal 4. I believe it was a Fatal 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. I got to go back and watch my reviews. Doudrop did win the Fatal 4 to win a title match against Becky Lynch. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is the match that I'm least excited for. I think I'm in the, a lot of people are in the boat with that. A lot of people can definitely agree with me with this. This match, nobody, to be quite honest with you, gives a single shit about. And no disrespect to Becky Lynch and Piper Niven, aka Doudrop. Nobody gives a single shit about this match. Is the match going to be good? To be quite honest with you, I do not know. But again, this match is one of those matches that you already know the outcome of the match. Becky Lynch 100% is going to be retaining the Raw Women's Championship. And now with all the rumors of Ronda Rousey being in the Royal Rumble, I mean, it could really set the stage regarding, Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, which if that match happens, sign me up. But at the same time, even though I would be really excited if that match actually happened, it's another one of those instances where it's just too little too late when it comes to WWE, because WWE gives the fans what they want mad late all the time. They did that with John Cena and The Undertaker. They did that so many times. It's not even funny. But again, the match between Doudrop and Becky Lynch, 100% Becky Lynch is retaining the women's title, in my opinion. And that's that. All right. In our first men's main event of the evening, we got Brock Lesnar defending the WWE title against Bobby Lashley. Now, these two main events, this match with Lashley and Lesnar and the match with Rollins and Reigns, are really interesting, and I do believe that they're going to connect the dots regarding the Royal Rumble, and they're really going to set the stage on how the Royal Rumble is going to play out, and I'll tell you guys why. I do believe one of the wrestlers, either Lesnar or Reigns, are losing their titles. Most likely, I definitely do believe it's going to be Lesnar, considering the fact that it'd be really stupid for Reigns to lose his championship because of the fact that he is on a run of a lifetime. And not only that, Reigns is the only big, and I mean big, current star that the WWE has. So I think it'd be really stupid for Reigns to drop the belt to Seth Rollins. Meanwhile, he got this whole thing with Kevin Owens going on where, I believe that it's a scenario in which, that would set the stage for a match between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, because of the fact that, Kevin Owens is playing the really nice guy and all that stuff. I just have that feeling that, Kevin Owens is going to be turning on Seth Rollins. And, when it comes to that match, Seth Rollins is the babyface, but we're going to be talking about Lashley and Lesnar for a second, okay? Because this is the match I have to talk about. I'm talking about Reigns versus Rollins, but, meanwhile, I'm on Lesnar versus Lashley. Lesnar versus Lashley is, again, another one of those instances where we should have gotten the match years ago. I felt like we should have gotten the match way back in 2018. Of course, that was the year when Bobby Lashley returned to the WWE. We should have gotten that match that year. We should have gotten that match then last year, of course. One of those matches that I was really advocating for SummerSlam last year at Allegiant Stadium was Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. But we never got that, of course, because WWE is completely stupid. But we were finally getting Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. And do I think this is going to be a freaking awesome match? Hell yes. This is honestly going to be, in my opinion, one of my favorite matches of the night. I think it has the potential to really steal the show. And, really one of the main aspects of why I really want to see this match is because of the fact that I really just want to see Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley just beat the living shit out of each other, because they basically come from the same mold. They're actually, of course, Brock Lesnar has that UFC background, same as Bobby Lashley, but instead Bobby Lashley didn't fight in the UFC. I believe he fought in Bellator. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Bobby Lashley does have a wrestling background and an MMA background. So, I mean, it makes the perfect sense. And this is honestly a dream match, in my opinion. A match that we should have gotten a couple of years ago that we never did. WWE, again, this is the third time I've stated this. WWE has always had a tendency to basically just give you matches that you want mad late. Like, for example, if you wanted a match between like Taker and John Cena, like, for example, if John Cena was like at the top right now and Taker was still wrestling now, and the best match that this year's WrestleMania could have had would be Undertaker versus John Cena, WWE wouldn't give it to you. They would give it to you like 5 years later. That's basically WWE's mindset, and I do not know why that's the case, and they really need to ditch that mindset, in my opinion. But overall, again, it could go one or two ways. With this particular match, I've stated in my previous Raw reviews that, I 100% see Paul Heyman definitely swerving, the whole audience and turning on Brock Lesnar, turning himself back into the bloodline. I definitely do see that happening, which would lead to, of course, the Usos would interfere in the match, which would lead to Bobby Lashley winning the WWE Championship. To be quite honest with you, I would still love to see a unification match. I mean, it's best to really utilize the 2-night WrestleMania as really interesting as possible, in my opinion. But, it can go one or two ways. Either Lesnar is retaining the title, or, Paul Heyman is definitely going to turn on Brock Lesnar, which I definitely do see that happening. And there's going to be some interference regarding the bloodline, which leads to Bobby Lashley winning the WWE title. So who are my picks to win this? Bobby Lashley's definitely winning the WWE Championship, in my view, when it comes to this particular match. But I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm totally fine with that, because of the fact that, again, it's one of those matches where really anything can happen, because this match and the Rollins and Reigns match are definitely going to connect the dots to the Royal Rumble, and we never know. We don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. We got Seth Rollins versus the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, for the Universal Championship. I refuse to call Seth Rollins Seth freaking Rollins. The reason why I say that, and you have fans on social media saying, "Oh, but the fans created Seth freaking Rollins, so why are you complaining that his name is Seth freaking Rollins?" It's because Seth freaking Rollins is a fucking catchphrase, not his official name, you dumbasses. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about this match. Again, this is another match where I definitely do believe that this will definitely be a show stealer, in my opinion. This match is gonna be freaking awesome. Again, Seth Rollins is one of those wrestlers that is arguably one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the entire world right now. I don't care what anybody says. He's one of the best in-ring performers in the business today. And same as Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is arguably the best wrestler in the world. One of the best wrestlers in the world today. And, this match, I definitely do see, it's going to be freaking awesome. To be quite honest with you, I actually really enjoyed the build for this particular match. And I'm really interested to see what is going to happen. I believe the original plan for day one and the last pay-per-view was that Seth Rollins was actually going to win the Fatal 4. I think it was a Fatal 4 that was booked at day one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, he was going to win the Fatal 4-way and then win the WWE Championship. But of course, unfortunately, plans changed, which led to Brock Lesnar winning the WWE Championship being inserted into the match. But when it comes to this match, again, this match and the other match and the Lesnar match, they could either, one of those guys are definitely going to drop their titles. And honestly, I just do not see Roman Reigns beating Seth Rollins. I do not see Roman Reigns losing to Seth Rollins. My apologies. I do not see him losing to Seth Rollins. I definitely do see Rollins losing this match, in my opinion, because of the fact that, again, Roman Reigns is like the top guy in the company, and he is like the only like big current star that you guys have. So having Reigns lose the championship would make absolutely no sense, in my opinion. But hey, that is just me. But Reigns, my prediction for this match, Roman Reigns is retaining the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble. Now, we got the 30 women Royal Rumble match. So yeah, basically the entire premise of this match is basically, WWE has been building this women's Royal Rumble match with basically their veterans, almost all of their veteran, they announced, Michelle McCool, like your Kelly Kellys, your Michelle McCools, your Summer Raes, your Litas. I definitely do see Trish Stratus coming in the Royal Rumble, all that stuff. But I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. That is one of the biggest problems with WWE today, is that they focus too much on nostalgia. And look, I do agree with the term that nostalgia does sell, but be honest with yourself. The difference between AEW, and I am bringing AEW in this discussion because it should and it deserves to be compared. I don't care what anybody says. I'm bringing AEW in this discussion as well. The difference between AEW utilizing a veteran and WWE utilizing a veteran, they're completely different. There's a major difference there. The veterans are using AEW to put the younger talent over. The veterans are used into the WWE in a way that they're basically getting put over. They're the ones that are getting over in the match because, they want to bring in more viewers. And not to say that AEW wants to bring in older viewers when it comes to, them bringing in veterans. I'm just saying that their philosophy is just completely different. Their booking philosophy and, utilizing their veterans, it's completely different than the WWE's mindset. But of course, we got people like Mickie James, who is the Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion, being in the match. Now, do I believe that she is going to come out with the Knockouts championship? Honestly, that's kind of 50-50. It really depends on WWE. But do I think she's going to come out with the title and her theme song? Who knows? I think so. I may be wrong, and I'm totally fine with being wrong. But who's going to win this match? Again, I'm excited for this match, but at the same time, I'm not excited for this match because of the fact that WWE has built up this match just by hyping up the veterans that are going to be in the match. And this is a common occurrence, especially with the Women's Royal Rumble this year, every year. But like this year in particular, WWE has had a lot of trouble, getting 30 women for the Women's Royal Rumble match because of the fact that, they've released all these fucking wrestlers that they don't have enough to fucking fill for the Women's Royal Rumble. Now they have to call up people like Summer Rae, who they called a legend, which, no disrespect, and I don't mean this personally towards Summer Rae, but I do not view Summer Rae as a legend. I heard that there was a rumor right recently today on Twitter that, they were calling up Oksana. Yes, Oksana of all people, they were calling up. Are you joking with me? That is ridiculous. Use the Royal Rumble to build new stars, but instead they're not going to do that because they're extremely lazy, and they know they're making millions anyway, because so they don't give a damn what the fuck you want. But, Charlotte Flair is, of course, in this Royal Rumble. So, what do I think is going to be happening in this Royal Rumble? Now, there's been a lot of rumors that Ronda Rousey is possibly going to be in this Royal Rumble match. And if that is the case, I'll be excited. Because then we'll probably, if she does come in, I do see her winning it and eventually facing Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. But again, even though I am excited if they did book that match, which, there is a possibility that she may come back and win. But again, it's one of those instances where we should have gotten the match a couple of years ago. Then the WWE realized they fucked up by adding Charlotte. Why the fuck did they add Charlotte in that triple threat match? I had no idea why. The match that everybody wanted was Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 35. That was my first WrestleMania that I attended. Not my very first WrestleMania, the very first WrestleMania that I attended. And, everybody was pissed off that they added fucking Charlotte in the match, which was actually really dumb. It's like Charlotte has to be added in every women's first ever thing. Like, Charlotte has to be added in fucking everything. No, she doesn't. She really doesn't. But, again, with Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, again, as much as, if that match is going to happen this year at WrestleMania, it's going to be one of those instances where, again, it's just too late because of the fact that the WWE just, and this is a common occurrence, they always book shit late. They always give you the matches that you want, mad late, like years later, which absolutely makes no sense. Like, it's the same thing with Lashley versus Brock. I mean, like, we should have gotten that match years ago, but we're finally getting it now because they realized WWE, like, they realized that they fucked up themselves. But either Ronda Rousey is going to come in and win. There's a possibility that you never know Lita is going to win because, she had been doing a couple things with Charlotte Flair on SmackDown television. Or you can have Charlotte Flair win the match and then choose her opponent. So, again, I'm kind of like, 50-50-50, if that makes any sense. God damn, I don't even know my fucking math. But again, I'm really, there's three possibilities that can happen in my opinion. And my three possibilities are A, Ronda Rousey finally making her return after like 3 years. B, and actually winning the match. B, Charlotte Flair, and then her choosing her opponent. Or C, Lita. Again, it doesn't matter. It can really go either way, in my opinion, but we're going to have to wait and see. Those are the three that I definitely do see winning the Royal Rumble. Everybody else on the Royal Rumble, especially the veterans, Lita is a veteran, but like people like Kelly ain't going to win, Summer Rae ain't going to win, Oksana ain't going to win, Michelle McCool ain't going to win. None of the current roster is going to win. I know that for sure, but a lot of people are saying Naomi, which makes the perfect sense, so that can be another candidate to win the Royal Rumble, but let's be straight up. I don't think WWE has the balls to in my opinion, I don't think WWE just wants to push Naomi I just do not believe that. I would love to see Naomi. Look, the best thing in my opinion for Naomi is to join the Bloodline. I would love for her to join the Bloodline because that would literally skyrocket her career in my opinion. But again, there's a lot of possibilities regarding the Women's Royal Rumble, and those three possibilities, Ronda Rousey returning, Charlotte eventually winning the shit, which nobody wants, and possibly Lita winning the match. I mean, those are probably like the three possibilities, in my opinion, that's going to happen at the Royal Rumble this coming Saturday. All right. Shifting gears, as Michael Cole would say, to the 30-man Royal Rumble match. So, yeah, there's going to be probably some veterans in this match as well. I definitely do see that. We got AJ Styles, Damian Priest, fucking Johnny Knoxville, who's not going to win the goddamn match. Big E's going to be in the match. Bum-ass Baron Corbin and Madcap is going to be in the match as well. The Street Profits, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, all those guys are going to be in the match. Again, this match has a lot of, rumor mills as well. A lot of people are saying Cody Rhodes, considering the fact that he is a free agent, he is going to be in the Royal Rumble, which, again, I'm going to have to shut that rumor down. I do not believe he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Can there be a possibility? Legally, yeah, there can be a possibility because of the fact that he does not have an AEW contract. But let's look at reality real quick. Cody Rhodes is not going to be in the Royal Rumble. He is just not. Who do I think is going to be winning this match? So now again, connecting to Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns and Lesnar versus Lashley. Either one of those guys drop the titles to their respective opponents. I definitely do see Brock Lesnar dropping the belt to Bobby Lashley. And, eventually Brock Lesnar would probably enter himself in the Royal Rumble and then win the Royal Rumble and all that stuff. And then he would face Reigns at WrestleMania. I definitely do see that happening. But again, who knows what's going to happen? A lot of people are advocating, especially myself, a unification match at WrestleMania. It's the best way for WWE to really utilize the two-night WrestleMania to its advantage. But, for a fact, WWE does not like to try because they're lazy as hell. But again, who is my pick to win the Royal Rumble? Some people were saying AJ Styles, which I do not see AJ. As much as I would like to see AJ Styles win the Royal Rumble, I just do not see it as the possibility with AJ Styles winning the match. I definitely do see AJ Styles wrestling Edge at WrestleMania. I think it's the most logical match in my opinion, and I think it'd be a freaking amazing match in my opinion in Dallas at WrestleMania. So that'd be a banger of a match if you had Edge versus AJ Styles. That'd be the ultimate dream match right there. But again, who the hell is going to be winning this match? I definitely do see Brock Lesnar eventually, putting himself in the match and eventually winning the match. That is what I predict. You guys may have completely different predictions, but that is my prediction. My big prediction is, Lesnar, Paul Heyman and, turns on Brock Lesnar. The Bloodline interfere in his match against Lashley, which would lead to Lashley winning the WWE Championship, and then Lesnar would just enter himself in the Royal Rumble match and eventually win the match. That is what I believe could happen. Or we could have another case where Bobby Lashley loses the match and he'd enter himself in the Royal Rumble, and then we could have a situation with Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley where he chooses to have a match with Brock Lesnar, but at the same time, Lesnar is focused on Reigns, so then Lesnar is going to be wrestling in both nights, so the first night, of course, you're going to have, Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. And then the second night, you're going to have a unification match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Because, that is just me far-fetching, but I still have that belief that Brock Lesnar will win. I may be wrong. But, again, the Royal Rumble, even though it's kind of lackluster regarding the people that are going to be in both Rumble matches, there's still a lot of speculation in the air, which actually makes me really interested to see what happens on those two particular matches this Saturday night. So I'm actually really interested to see what goes down. But yeah, those were my Royal Rumble predictions overall. I think this is going to be a good show. I don't think this is going to be a bad show in any way, shape, or form. I mean, there's going to be maybe one match that's not going to be that good. But let's be straight up. This show, I should say, is not going to be bad at all. But yeah, those were my Royal Rumble predictions for 2022. Be on the lookout for my SmackDown and Rampage reviews tomorrow, right here on the Broken Havoc podcast. And I will give you guys my review of this year's Royal Rumble this coming Sunday, right here on the channel. So be on the lookout for those videos. And as always, this is Broken Havoc from the Broken Havoc podcast, signing out.